All right, so we don't want to be late. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please rise for the, or call this meeting to order. Please rise for the flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mayor Scott.
Here.
Mrs. Pasio.
Here.
Mr. Ranieri.
Here.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Here.
Mr. Ruth.
Here.
Mrs. Kelly.
Here.
Mr. Farrell.
Here.
Mr. Long.
Here.
Mr. Bayshore.
Here.
And Mr. Rivera.
Okay, public notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been given by the clerk in the following manner. One, posted on the bulletin board in the Borough Clerk's office on January 4th, 2017, and two, emailed to the retrospect and Courier Post on January 4th, 2017. We have the approval of minutes, and motion is in order for the approval of minutes of the March 28th, 2017, and April 4th, 2017 meetings submitted by the clerk, as each member has received copies of the same.
I so move.
I second that.
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Mr. Lobenstein. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, approved. Reports.
We have the report of the construction official for the month of April. A total of $10,901 was collected for various permits and COs. The monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have the report of the municipal court for the month of March. A total of $12,305.64 was collected in fines. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have the report of the police chief for the month of April. A total of $1,087.75 was collected for accident discovery, solicitor reports, and firearm permits. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have the report of the borough clerk for the month of April. A total of $2,969.22 was collected for various permits, copies, and pet licenses. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have the report of the registrar of vital statistics for the month of April. A total of $3,282 was collected for death copies, marriage copies, and marriage licenses. We have the report of the fire marshal for the month of March. A total of $9,211.08 was collected in fire fees. There were 70 total inspections, incidents of 152 EMS and 52 fire incidents, 3 Type 1 permits issued, and emergency medical fees collected for March, $34,875.95. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. And I also have April's report. A total of $4,257 was collected in fire fees. There were 67 inspections completed, 128 EMS incidents, 46 fire incidents, 1 Type 1 permit issued, and EMS fees collected $30,997.87, all turned over to the treasurer. We have a report of the tax collector for the month of April. A total of $1,415,328.80 was collected in taxes, and $29,061.97 in sewer rentals, and also the year-end report for the amount of tax and sewer revenue collected during 2016. Taxes, $18,509,522.20, and sewer rentals collected, $759,915.78. And the collection rate was 98.23 until the auditors get hold of it.
Good number.
Really?
And that's all that I have.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the reports as read by?
Make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Lobenstein, second by Ms. Pasio. All in favor?
Aye.
Communications. We have a letter of resignation from Nicholas Rich. This is Junior. If you don't mind, I'll just read it quickly. To whom it may concern, on Wednesday, April 12, 2017, I was offered a position as a firefighter with the Gloucester Township Fire District 2, at which time I accepted their offer. My official start date is April 24, 2017. Please let this letter serve as my official resignation. My last day of employment with the Borough of Runnemede will be April 23, 2017. This time, I would like to thank the Borough of Runnemede for my employment for the last 10.5 years. I've met and worked with some amazing people. The friends I have made will be lifelong friends. Again, thank you for allowing me to serve this wonderful borough. It is truly appreciated. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Root, second by Mr. Farrell. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Yes, and we wish him well. Okay, public hearing, this is for ordinance 17-03. This is an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. Is there, okay, this portion is meeting is open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak on this ordinance, please come to the microphone, state your name and address. Seeing no one, is there a motion to close the public portion?
I so move. I'll second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Ms. Passio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, public portion is closed. Is there a motion to adopt on second and final reading and advertise according to law?
I'll make a motion to adopt on second and final reading and advertise according to law.
Okay. Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Mr. Ranieri. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mr. Root.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
And Mr. Rivera.
Yes.
6 ayes.
6 ayes, this ordinance is adopted. Ordinance 17-04 is an ordinance amending ordinance 16-09, regulating the salaries of the employees of the Borough of Runnemede for the year 2017. This portion of the meeting is open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak, please come to the microphone, state your name and address. Seeing no one, is there a motion to close the public portion?
I'll make a motion to close. I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Mr. Lobenstein. All in favor?
Aye.
Right, the public portion is closed. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt on second and final reading and advertise according to law.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Ms. Passio. Roll call, please.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
Mr. Root.
Yes.
6 ayes.
This ordinance is adopted. Ordinance 17-05 is an ordinance amending the Borough of Runnemede Code, Chapter 50, Article 1, Section 50-1, Composition of Police Department. This portion of the meeting is open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak, please come to the microphone, state your name and address. Seeing no one, is there a motion to close the public portion?
I so move.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Mr. Lobenstein. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion to adopt on second and final reading and advertise according to law.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Lobenstein, second by Ms. Passio. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mr. Root.
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
6 ayes.
This ordinance is adopted. All right. Are we good? Okay, committee reports. Mr. Ranieri, Finance.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Good evening, everybody. We are no longer operating on a temporary budget. Our 2017 budget was introduced at our last general meeting on April 4th. And I'm happy to announce that our budget has been approved and accepted.
We're doing it tonight.
Yeah. Tonight.
We're doing it tonight.
I'm sorry, I put your committee reports are before the vote, so you could say we're going to.
It will be, hopefully it's accepted. A special thank you to the mayor, Bob Law, Joyce, Greg, our treasurer. We are very fortunate to have such a great team that gets the job done, and we're also willing to put in the extra hours when it's needed. Thanks again, everything's appreciated. Also want to thank Mike and Evan and everybody else involved with the Golden Accounting firm for all your hard work. We appreciate your services. And on another topic, I wanted to bring up Municipal Alliance. Nancy Anderson, who is in charge of our Municipal Alliance program, helped us get the funding that we needed for our long-awaited police training stat cards. I've talked about this before. And she helped us by promoting drug awareness with the slogan on each card that reads, "Heroin or pills, it all kills." Runnemede works closely with Camden County Municipal Alliance, bringing greater awareness and education and educating kids and adults about the benefits of not abusing drugs and alcohol. I encourage everyone, young and old, to introduce themselves to our police officers, ask them for their card, and our officers are looking forward to meeting each and every one of you. I have a complete set of these with me, if anybody would like to take a look into this meeting. And the rest is public.
Thank you, Mr. Ranieri. Public safety.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our fire department was very, very busy this month. It's a short month, but they had 128 calls for our services for the EMS and 46 fire calls, for a total of fire and EMS fees collected to the year of $112,791.46. All the apparatus has been maintained throughout the month, and all the apparatus will be having their annual services completed in May when the budget is approved. We are still in the running for the AFG grant application to supply our firefighters with the necessary equipment that they need for their safety. So that is still in the running. We haven't heard anything definite yet. The fire department responded to a working fire in Gloucester Township and also in Belmar. So they have been busy not only in our town but in surrounding towns, and that's every day. They're out there protecting us. Along with our wonderful fire department, we have the activities of our police department. And boy, were they busy this month. They had 121 arrests. They had 26 motor vehicle crashes that they responded to. That they had 115 moving summonses and 652 calls for service. I don't know how you do it all, Chief.
Kelly, we also just turned in 115 pounds of pills that were collected that we burned.
Wow. That's a wonderful program. Wonderful program. 115 pounds of pills. Every 6 weeks, not even, it's usually every month. Officer Burns opens up the drug box that we have in the library. In the lobby. In the lobby. And I saw him when he opened it last month in March. The pills fell out. There was so many, they just absolutely fell out on the lobby floor. So it's quite effective, and it really, doing a great job, and it's a very effective program. And that's my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We saved just one.
That's too many pills. Engineering, Mr. Farrell.
You forgot, but that's.
Oh, I'm sorry. I actually underlined your name. To say, well, you talk, excuse me, public events, Ms. Passio.
That's okay. Of course, we all know that youth mayor and council will be starting on May 13th over to May 20th. And my councilman will be getting an email from me along with everyone in the borough as soon as Mr. Philly gives me the names of the students. I've been waiting, so I'm asking you, John, if you can call Mr. Philly tomorrow.
Consider it done.
And please ask him to give us the names. I gave him all the numbers, now we need the names.
Will do.
Okay, thank you very much, I appreciate that. Memorial Day, we have a beautiful ceremony, always out by the greens at where Harry Williams Center is. It's outside, we have a tent, so if it rains or the weather's not good, or if it's too hot, which it has been sometimes, we're under the tent. It is a beautiful service. It starts at noon, Memorial Day, May 29th, so I hope you all attend, and our dignitaries will be there, and the people who we will honor. So, if not them, their families. So, thank you, and with that, I say progress.
Thank you very much.
No, I'm sorry, Mayor. Oh, my heart.
A little off, yeah.
I am, my head's not with me tonight. This will be your newsletter that you will be getting in the mail next week. It's 16 pages, it's full of accurate information. If you need anything or you want to know anything, our numbers are in here, they match our faces. Please, don't hesitate to give us a call. Sit down, relax, enjoy it. There's also a whole page of word search, and you'll have a lot of fun reading it. Sure, you can.
Thank you. I just want to let everybody know, you hear a lot about what's going on, what the council does, mayor does, and this really does show you what we've been doing with pictures, explanations, and contact information if you want to know anything else. So we're real proud of it, and I hope that you all like it. Thank you.
I just want to mention one thing. Mrs. Passio lost her sister recently, and the funeral's coming up, and we just want to pass on our condolences to her naturally all the time, and anything we can do, Patty, let us know.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You are my family, and I thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, engineering, Mr. Farrell.
I'm going to rely on,
Push the button.
Hello. I'm going to rely on my caucus report, but I want to commend Patty and John on the job they did on that newsletter.
Yeah.
A lot of time went into that, and you'll see it when you read it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Public Works, Mr. Root.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The only thing I really want to tell everybody is with yard waste on Mondays, it's officially now going to start with just cans and the recyclable bags now. So if you have leaves, put them in the bags or your cans. We're going to retire the leaf for the season. And the rest of them just going to go on Harry's report from caucus. Thank you.
And do you want to just clear, if it's not picked up on Monday, it'll be done on?
Oh, yeah, if it's not picked up on Monday, there's been a lot, and the guys have been, just leave it out. We'll get it Tuesday or even Wednesday if we have to. So if it's not picked up right away, don't worry about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just say one more thing? Yeah, sure. John and I are getting a lot of credit for this newsletter. We did put up many hours into it. But we wouldn't have a newsletter if it wasn't for each individual department who worked so hard to make Runnemede better and better. So it's because of them that we have a newsletter. So I just want to say thank you to every one of you for a wonderful department and putting it all together and making us shine. And Mayor, it all says thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm now
Okay. Parks and Recreation, Mr. Lovenstein.
I'm just going to refer to caucus progress. The fields are in full bloom swing.
Yeah.
Nothing else going on. Thanks.
No problem. Mr. Law's not here tonight. Mr. Long, do you have anything to report?
Sure, just, I had an opportunity to review the shared services agreement that's proposed between the Borough and the Runnemede Board of Education. It does need my approval. Other than that, thank you for letting me fill in as your substitute.
Okay.
It's always a good time.
So Mr. Lovenstein, we'll do this evening then? This is for the summer rec program shared service. So what we'll do is we'll put that on as
Resolution.
there's a resolution at the end. It's 17, 86, because 85 is going to be the releasing the performance bond. We're going to release that performance bond for tonight. Sorry about that. Went over that also.
Right.
We're okay with that. We'll go over that at the end. Anything else?
Progress.
Thank you. All right, engineers report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would also like to rely mostly on my report from caucus, but I do have a few updates. On our sanitary sewer slip lining project, we had the emergency repair on South Oakland Avenue that we reported on at caucus, and it was awarded. That work has started. Just want everybody to know that the trench is going to be left in place as millings until we reconstruct the road as part of the DOT project. We are going to be advertising that project for bids next Monday. So we're going to be moving forward with that to get the road buttoned up as soon as we can.
So it'll be Oakland and Washington.
At Oakland, correct. But I just want everybody to be aware that the trench is going to be road millings for a while, and we're going to monitor that until we can get the road repaved. And we did that, and Harry wanted us to do it that way in order to save money. It made sense that we don't want to waste money on paving that we're just going to be tearing up in the near future. And the other work that we did on the Orchard Avenue project for some sewer repairs on 4th Avenue and Central Avenue is complete, and I will be submitting closeout paperwork from the contractor from that project. So you'll be seeing that information next week. And the other thing was the Cali Port. I was just reviewing. We're looking to release the performance bond this meeting and go into a maintenance period. One of my contingencies is payment of all the escrow. I believe that was submitted through Borough. Okay.
Unless there's a new one.
No, it's already.
5,000
Yes.
change, yeah, that was already taken care of.
And the only other thing was review of the bonds by the solicitor, and so the contingency should be approval of the release by.
So approving the release contingent on the solicitor's approval of the maintenance bond.
Right.
Just to piggyback on this, Cali Court is 100%. So at this point, the contractor, who's separate from the developer, is asking for his maintenance bond back, or excuse me, his performance bond back, in the amount of,
It's probably over $100,000.
yeah, so it's a substantial amount of money that's been sitting there for 9 years. So the engineer's willing to sign off on it, and the solicitor's okay. I personally have been down there. I know there's a few issues that are required by the developer and the development to, we've talked about the homeowners association, we talked about the street lighting. Those issues are still out there, but they're not tied to the contractor. The contractor did his part. So this just releases the contractor his portion.
The process on my end takes less than a day, so no problem.
In reviewing my letter, we also said that at this point, we should recommend the borough take over the street and the sewer main. So I'm not sure what avenue we have to do with that. Dan, would that be a resolution as well, to accept to dedicate the road?
Yes.
Okay.
Could we do that next month? Give me a month to...
Yes, we,
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
no
Because
problem.
we still want to get this homeowners association resolved.
Correct.
Before you dedicate the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just reviewing the letter that I forwarded to Dan since Len's not here.
Yeah.
And the letter was written in November, so I'm just trying to refresh my own memory of what we said about it.
It's been a long time.
So, and that concludes my report unless anybody has any questions.
No, that's very good. Thank you. That was the 1785. I apologize. Mr. Bayshore had asked about that earlier. So 1785 will be a resolution to release the performance bond, continue on solicitor's approval of the maintenance bond. Okay, so we have public comments on agenda items. This portion of the meeting is open up to the public. Anyone wishing to speak on upcoming resolutions that we're going to vote on can come to the microphone, state your name and address. Seeing no one, is there a motion to close the public portion? Oh,
We have some.
oh, let me just, before I put you, I didn't read the disclaimer. Our attorney has advised us that we cannot prevent you from making comments about employees. He has also requested we advise you that our employees are not public officials, and you are not immune from civil actions they may bring as a result of your remarks. So please name and address.
My name is Dan Lurie, 900 East Clemens Bridge Road. And my comments are about Richard Wright. You know, from what I have read,
He's not on the agenda,
I know.
so you can't make a comment about him, because that's at the public portion of the meeting.
Okay, I thought
This is only about the agenda items.
Okay.
So right at the end, I'll do it again, and you can come up.
Gotcha.
Okay. Is there anybody who wants to make comments about the agenda items? Seeing no one, I'll make a motion. Is there a motion to close the public portion?
I'll make a motion to close.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Mr. Lobenstein. All in favor?
Aye.
Right, the public portion is closed. New business. We have Resolution 17-77 is a resolution authorizing a tax exemption for a totally disabled veteran, Block 94, Lot 22. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Second by Mr. Farrell. Motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Mr. Farrell. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes.
Mrs. Tasio?
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
6 ayes.
6 ayes. This resolution is adopted. Resolution 17-78 is a resolution designating recipients from the Camden County Improvement Authority Housing Rehabilitation Program and authorizing Camden County Improvement Authority as administrative agent. Is there a motion?
Make a motion?
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Passio, second by Mr. Lobenstein. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The resolution is adopted. Resolution 17-79 is a resolution authorizing a refund of an HVAC permit fee.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Ms. Passio. Roll call, please.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
One pen?
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes.
Mrs. Tasio?
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
And Mr. Lee?
Yes.
6 ayes.
6 ayes. The resolution is adopted.
Now, I have the wonderful bone.
Yeah, the bonus is a nice pen.
Yes, thank you.
Resolution 17-80 is a resolution authorizing the 2017 to be read by title only at the time. What is this? Oh, it's the budget.
We don't need the roll call on that, by the way.
Okay. Resolution authorizing the 2017 budget to be read by title only at the time of this public hearing. Is there a motion to read the budget by title
I'll make a
only?
motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Ms. Passio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution is adopted. Okay, now we're at the public hearing for the budget. Before we do that, I'm going to introduce Mr. Cicero as our lead auditor from the accounting firm of Bowman and Company. If you would like, to give us a little presentation so everyone is aware of what we're doing.
Good evening. We want to start off by presenting to you that this is the 2017 budget. On our first slide, we are showing you the activity from 2016. It indicates that the municipal share of the budget of your tax bill is 26.7%. So when you come up to question, you are questioning only 26.7 cents of every $100 here. So focus on that. The county tax and the school tax represents roughly 73.3%. Now remember, this is 2016, the adopted version, so those were the final numbers. The conversation we have this evening is about the 2017 introduced budget, roughly 26.4%, which is down slightly from last year of your overall tax burden. The county and school allocations, while they have yet to be finalized, the county has not yet adopted their budget, so we'll get the finalization eventually by June, and you'll have your final numbers, but the estimate is roughly 73.6% of every 100 is the non-controllable items for the borough here. So when we have a conversation, we're talking about 26.4%. The blue square, little portion here, is what we can control for the most part. That's the borough's responsibility. In 2010, there was a major outcry for real estate taxes and relief in the state of New Jersey. So we incorporated, the state did, a tax levy cap, which is known as the 2% cap. So this is the calculation that is performed by the borough and every other municipality in New Jersey to go through and determine whether or not this budget is introduced is compliant with the tax levy cap. It is compliant with the tax levy cap. It is also compliant with the appropriation side cap, which will be another slide that will show. So at the very bottom, which you may not be able to see, but I think council has slides in front of them, roughly $5,055,180 is the maximum tax levy you can have. You are under the tax levy, so that's an important factor to recognize. You could raise taxes another $5,700 if you needed to. In 2014, the borough had a $54,000 excess that they put into their bank, which they could raise taxes for. That has actually expired with this budget. But for 2015 and 2016, there is roughly another $600,000 in taxes that could be raised if you needed to balance your budget. The key item you have to recall is New Jersey municipalities are required to have a balanced budget, meaning revenues must equal appropriations. And this budget is a balanced budget.
And those levy caps, they expire after 3 years? They fall off after 3 years, is that what it is?
The tax levy cap expires, you have that for 3 years. The appropriation side is 2 years. We'll have a quiz later if you want. Okay. So looking at the 2017 budget summary of the levy cap, one of the things that I'd like to point out is the value of the community. So in 2016, the entire value of our community was $504,921,584. As a process in 2017, we had some minuses and we had some pluses, but the net is a loss of value of roughly $817,619. So that means the tax burden that gets spread among our taxpayers in the community is actually going to go up automatically because the value of our community has dropped. So that's how we end up with our tax rate. You can see here that our amount to be raised by taxes is going up roughly $102,000. Only $102,000. The value of 1 penny is roughly $50,410. So we have an approximate increase of 2.2 to 2.3, depending on how the county will end up rounding our rate here. But it's a 2.2 cent increase and an overall increase of taxes of just 2%. So you are well within, as we discussed earlier, the 2% levy cap. The appropriation side of the cap goes all the way back and is referred to as the 1977 cap. That was when the legislature had invoked the need for municipalities to control their spending. They put in a quote-unquote cap. This evening you heard a resolution, an ordinance that had a public hearing and adoption. That was to actually go to the maximum you can do, which is the 3.5%. So we have a 3% COLA add-on this year. So if you have the document in front of you, you'll see these two numbers, the $30,370 and the $182,000. So the borough has authorized the budget to increase spending by $212,000 if it needs to. They are under cap, the appropriation cap, by just under $50,000. So once again, they are compliant with the 1977 appropriation cap. I will add that the state of New Jersey does review the budget of the borough. They returned their comments. There were no comments. They offered no suggestions. There were no questions. The only thing that they asked is that a copy of the adopted COLA ordinance, which you passed this evening, be sent to them with the budget package. So in my 28 plus years doing this, it's been very rare that I've actually had the division, when they did a state exam, offer no questions. So that's very good for the borough. Looking at the revenue side of the budget, just from a pie chart standpoint, you can see that the main portion that funds our budget is the amount to be raised by taxes. That is quite common in New Jersey. We have, unfortunately, no additional state aids. So our next slide actually shows you a brief history of that. We have the use of fund balance to help balance our budget. That's what we give back to taxpayers. We have our receipts from delinquent taxes, and we have some shared service agreements, some miscellaneous revenues, could be our fees, court, things like that. Looking at a straight comparison, you can see that the amount for fund balance that we're utilizing increased by roughly $185,000. Our receipts from delinquent taxes, you may say, wow, why did that drop? Well, the good news is it dropped because the collection rate increased. So our taxpayers were actually current on their taxes, so therefore, when taxpayers are current, we don't have the ability to realize additional receipts from delinquent taxes. So that's a positive scenario. You do like to see that. So that 36% drop in the receipts from delinquent taxes is actually a positive move. Once again, you'll see 8.24, that's the total amount of the revenues in the budget, so our appropriations should equal $8,240,000. Okay, here is the appropriation side of the budget, and thankfully they equal $8,240,000. You have here general operations, the largest chunk. They include public safety, legal, engineering, accounting, general administration, insurance, etc. So that makes up the general operations of the borough. You have an amount here for deferred charges and statutory expenditures. That category comprises your Social Security payments that you're required to make, your obligations to the state pension plan, and in this case, there's also roughly $185,000 in expenses that we are raising in the 2017 budget that we actually had to spend in 2016. We were very successful in certain programs. I think the cleanup program that we had during 2016 required us to have additional maintenance on our vehicles. We also needed to pay for certain overtime for that. So the success of that cleanup program resulted in us having expenses in 2016 that were not in the budget that would then therefore be declared as an emergency and are now being raised in the 2017 budget, which is not a problem. Debt service represents roughly 29%. Capital improvements, we put aside roughly $25,000 for the capital improvement fund. So when you do an ordinance, you are required to have a down payment. The reserve for uncollected tax number, roughly 19%. For those of you who had to sit through my budget training courses, you know that this is our insurance policy. This is the amount that we have set aside in our budget to account for the fact that we are required to pay the school and the county 100% of their tax levy even when, as you heard earlier, the clerk/collector tell us that we only collected 98.23% of our taxes. We still are required to pay the school and the county 100%, even though our taxpayers are not paying us 100%.
Mike, can I stop you just for a second for, I think is a correction. Is your pie chart different than your Excel spreadsheet at the top?
It could be.
You see where it says debt service is 28%, but up top it says debt service is 7.9%.
Ooh, we gotta get some editing on this. Good point, thank you, Mayor.
Okay, because I knew we don't have 28% in debt service.
We may have last year.
It-
Yes, we had a huge number last year. We had about $1 million, and we paid off a large
We did
chunk.
pay off a big chunk last. You're right, we had a double payment last year.
Good catch.
Okay, so general
That's on the
obligation
videotape, though.
general obligation is 75%, and then debt service is only 7 point, there's numbers at the top then?
Yes. These numbers at the top would be the accurate ones.
Okay.
Disregard what I was reading then. You have better eyes than I do.
Well, and I'm seeing the size of the pie. The pie didn't look like 49%, it looked like a 75% pie.
That looks like Miss Pac-Man, actually, but we'll go from there.
Yes.
So we have general operations, the reserve for uncollected taxes being the 5.8%, and that is still the number that we're using to help offset the percentage of uncollected taxes. Moving back to our municipal, 26.4 is the conversation, and I think from there we go to whatever the public has.
Okay. Is there any comments from council?
Nice job, guys. Thank you.
Beautiful.
And basically, Mike, just to let everyone know that everything we basically spent money on last year, we're pretty much spending the same amount of money this year with slight increases, that additional $100,000 that we're paying towards increase in salaries, increase in some costs.
Correct.
And you are right, our debt payment did go down substantially. I do recall we did have like we had a balloon
Yeah,
payment.
spike.
Spike. So that's it. Okay, so this portion of the meeting is open to the public. Anyone wants to speak about the 2017 municipal budget? This is about the municipal budget. Anyone want to speak about the municipal budget? Please come up, state your name and address. Seeing no one? Is there a motion to close the public portion?
I so move.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Mr. Ranieri. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the public portion is closed. So now we need a resolution 17-81 is a resolution adopting the 2017 municipal budget.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Ms. Pasio. Is there any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Passios.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mr. Root.
Yes.
Mr. Rivera.
Yes.
Okay. The budget is adopted. Resolution 17-82 is a resolution confirming 2017 appointments.
So, planning board, Dennis.
Oh, this is for planning board, an open planning board position. Is this a,
This is to fill the unexpired
Fill the
term of
unexpired.
Ron Fullerton.
okay, is there a motion to approve?
I so move.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Mr. Ranieri. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Passios.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mr. Root.
Yes.
Mr. Rivera.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted. Resolution 17-83 is a resolution designating recipients for the Camden County Improvement Authority Housing and Rehabilitation Program. Is this another one?
This came in today in mail, and this is the woman that came to the office with
Sewer?
the sewer problem, and she's actually going to get.
So for those of you out here, the Camden County Improvement Authority has the ability to help those who are in need to repair their homes. And this is very unusual for us to have two of them in the same meeting. We don't necessarily know who the person is, but in this particular case, Ms. Pinto was able to direct the homeowner to the county. The county jumped on it because it was a health and welfare issue. Health issue. The sewer line was completely clogged up. They came in and they're paying to replace the entire sewer line. About $6,000 worth of repairs. Yeah. But we have to pass a resolution. So is there someone who would like to make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Root, second by Mr. Farrell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The resolution is adopted. Resolution 17-84 is a resolution authorizing a refund of property tax interest to a mortgage company. Isn't that?
There should be a roll.
Yes.
We're giving back $82 in interest. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Passio, second by Mr. Ranieri. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
Mr. Ruda.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Passios.
Yes.
And Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
6 ayes.
All right, the resolution is adopted. We have first reading of ordinance 17-06, which is an ordinance amending ordinance 13-16, regulating the fees for usage of the Harry Williams Building. This is to allow the Triton Junior Wrestling Program to use the building during the summertime without a cost, and for any and all other local school-funded or youth organizations, if the council wishes to waive those fees. Is there a motion?
I'll second that.
Wait, it's a...
Motion to adopt the ordinance. Motion to adopt.
Oh.
It's on the next page.
I'll make a motion to adopt on first reading and advertise according to law, with public hearing to be held on the 7th day of June 2017 at 7 o'clock p.m.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
So a motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Mr. Lobenstein. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Passios.
She said it, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Ruda.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell. And Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
6 ayes.
Okay, we'll have our public hearing at that time. We have the two walk-on resolutions, which is Resolution 17-85, which is a resolution releasing the performance bond to the contractor at the Cali Court Hidden Ponds 2 project, condition of solicitor approval of the maintenance bond. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Passio, second by Ms. Kelly. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Passios.
Yes.
Mr. Root.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
6 ayes.
All right, the resolution is adopted. Resolution 17-86 is a resolution, what was this one?
Authorize shared services.
This is authorize the shared services between the Borough of Runnemede and the local school board for the summer recreation program, as outlined. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Lobenstein, second by Ms. Kelly. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Passios.
Yes.
Mr. Root.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
6 ayes.
All right. The resolution is adopted. Okay. We have the payment of bills. So having everyone receive the payment of bills, is there a motion to pay the monthly bills?
I make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Lobenstein, second by Mr. Root. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Passios.
Yes.
Mr. Root.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
6 ayes.
All right, the bills shall be paid. Good and welfare. This portion of the meeting is open to the public. Discuss whatever you want. But once again, I'm going to read the disclaimer. Our attorney has advised us that we cannot prevent you from making comments about employees. He has also requested we advise you that our employees are not public officials and you're not immune from civil actions they may bring as a result of your remarks. So after that, anyone wishing to speak, please come to the microphone, state your name and address. Sorry about that.
Dan Fleury, 900 East Clements Bridge Road. And from what I've been reading, and it's about Rich Wright, is this the same Rich Wright that worked for Middletown Township?
Well, what are you reading?
Well, various blogs and other things, you know, on the internet, but
I don't think we can comment on what a blog is. We do have an employee named Mr. Rich Wright, who's our CFO.
but you don't know if he...
He did work for Middletown.
Okay, because it just seems like there's you know, what happened there is maybe happening here, I don't know, but I just have questions about that, and everybody's...
Well, what part of the questions, what would you like to ask us?
We may be limited because it's a personnel matter. We'll listen to whatever comments you have, but we're going to be limited in what we can say in response.
Yes. Well, is there money missing?
No. I'd like the auditors who have worked for the Borough of Runnemede for how many years?
28.
20 years?
28.
Well, actually, I've been with Bowman and Company for 28 years, and I was looking out at the wall of mayors there. Of the pictures, there's only one mayor there that I did not work for. That was the first one back in 1965, before I was born. So I have worked off and on for the borough for over 28 years, and there is, to the best of my knowledge at this point, there is no money missing.
Okay. Another question, 9th Avenue.
Yes.
I count 8 lights, street lamps, that have been out for months and months. And they don't seem to be, some of them are in dangerous, curves. And I'm wondering who handles that?
There's two ways of handling streetlight outages. One way is if you see a streetlight and you can see the number, you can go onto the PSE&G website and report it, and then that generates a ticket. Also, the clerk on many occasions takes the information. She doesn't necessarily need to have the numbers. She can do block corners and areas. She can send that information in. Our third way of doing it is our Public Works Department and our Police Department all look at the lights. We are at the mercy of PSE&G. We do pay them $9 a month per light.
Right.
So we do pay for our streetlights.
Whether they're on or...
Whether they're on or not.
Okay, well, there's, the ones that are out have been wrapped with pink ribbons.
Then that was probably identified, probably either by the Public Works, I'm assuming the Public Works Department, not the Police Department. Public Works probably identified it, and the call is in.
Okay, it's just been months and months.
I can ask the clerk again. She has a contact person that we do contact when we have problems.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Just a second, Joe. Lorraine got her question.
Lorraine Costello, 35 East 4th Avenue. Mrs. Sorry for the loss of your sister. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, my condolences. Can you tell me when the town yard sale is going to be?
Yes, wait, let me look in here.
Where is it, in the newsletter?
Everything's in the newsletter. Yeah, I do believe it is, our townwide yard sale will be Saturday, September 30th from 8 to 2. No registration fee, and the rain date will be Sunday, October 1st.
I have a couple questions. Trash lids. Does lids have to be on the trash in the borough? I heard there were people writing tickets for, is that a rumor, or is
I
that
don't
really
know that
happening?
ordinance off the top of my head. If you'd like, we'll look it up.
The only thing regarding trash is it just has to be in a can, and you cannot store trash cans on the side of your house.
Visible from the street.
Visible from the street.
It can be on the side of the house.
Back. It has to be in the back of the house.
Oh, no lids.
No.
Okay. On the same page that he's talking about, that Dan's talking about, they were saying that the code officer was going around giving tickets for not having lids on trash cans.
I don't know the answer to that.
No, I've heard from, I never even heard of something like that. The only time we only give, the code enforcement officer does go around and he does, first he warns people about the trash cans, if it's visible from the street, if they're on the side of your house, or if your trash cans haven't been picked up in a few days and are rolling around out front of your house. He does, first he warns you, and if you don't heed that warning, then he issues you a summons.
I just want to know if I need a lid on my trash cans.
You know what? All the ordinances are online, but we'll look it up. They might be.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, I really think you should talk to Keith about it, whether or not.
It's not something that was.
Because it's one of the issues.
Well, I don't want to get a ticket over something ridiculous like that.
That's not the issue, the issue is the rats.
Rats.
Right, okay. So do you need the lid on the yard waste too?
No, never don't need a lid on your own. Just you don't want to put it in plastic bags, because the plastic bags, we have to cut the bags open and they have to be recyclable bags.
And did you take care of my lot?
I did. I actually found out that that property is still under our maintenance lien program. So they do not need to be cited again. They've never complied, so we continue to cut the grass on that property.
About a foot high now.
The only difference this year is obviously we're just getting started with grass cutting these past couple weeks. So we'll go out there. All that Mr. Knight has to do is basically just sign off again that it's a maintenance lien. They'll go out, cut the grass. Public Works will submit a bill, and then the clerk will put it on as a maintenance lien.
Okay, thank
Is
you.
that an abandoned house?
It's
No,
a
it's a lot.
empty lot at 4th and Central.
I have 2 abandoned houses on my street. I've been after Mr. Knight to get up.
Did they get cut, those lawns?
Not yet. They've been cited though.
I think there's 10 houses right now on the list.
Yeah, it's with Mr. Root and I, being Public Works and Parks and Rec, the grass cutting has been so
Difficult?
uneven and difficult because of all the rain. It's just.
Well, somebody went on this lot and cut 3 feet in and 2 feet over and left the rest of it like
Well, that might have been the property owner then.
a foot up.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, we'll have to look at it. Mr. Knight said that it was still on our list, so
Yeah.
I'll double check.
All right, thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did you get my email?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Joanne?
Lane Yates, 125 East Third Avenue. It is correct that you do need a little more trash can.
Okay.
He came around Third Avenue one day. Now, I'm the only one who has lids on my trash can. I guess I don't know why, but they're just there. And he said, oh, thank God you got lids on your trash can. We're going around looking today for all the non-litterers, he calls them. But then again, it's not mostly him, it's the other guys that have his set on here. I guess maybe his part-time
His first name is
guy.
Bob. Yeah.
I mean, this guy bust him, you know what?
Well, Joanne, you do know,
Wait,
okay.
There's a lot of people on my street that comply with everything. We have some at more to Central Avenue that don't. Okay, Tuesday's trash day. The trash cans are out there Tuesday. They're out there Thursday. They're out there Sunday.
Yeah, they don't.
And they don't stop and do nothing. My neighbor behind me left his trash cans out front for one day, and he said on summons.
Typically, as I always say to everybody, we're complaint driven.
The only time I call Keith when the guy next door to me, his trash is overflowing, there's garbage everywhere, and I start seeing mice and rats, I'm on the phone. And I know he's been summoned a couple of times, but he still does it yet. He's still doing it.
It's difficult to get people to comply.
And the thing that Rich Wright is on Facebook. Everybody's read it. Everybody in town knows that supposed to be $1.5 million was mismanaged, in other words. But, so he's no longer an employee on prison.
No, he is an employee.
He's still, where is he?
It's a personnel issue.
Not here.
I know you're not, so you're protecting him, but we're not.
No, we're simply not, we are not allowed to just publicly discuss
Why?
personal matters, because that's the
Why
law.
he's managing money from the taxpayers? Do you understand? We're taxpayers.
We understand, but just
Yeah,
because...
frustration,
He's
but-
misappropriating money, shouldn't
No, that's...
Shouldn't your lawyer tell him that?
How do you know that, wait, this is the part that confuses me, is what, and hopefully stop me if I'm saying
I
something
don't
wrong.
know, Stark.
What evidence is there?
I don't know.
Okay, stop me there.
Here's why, because the law states in New Jersey that the only time that council can discuss terms and conditions of employment publicly is when the person gets notice of the meeting and requests to have the conversation in public,
Oh, I see, okay.
okay?
But it's not true.
No,
It's not true.
it's not true at all. You have,
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
rumors-
we brought our auditors in,
Now the rumors get started, you know.
the state of New Jersey.
It's not true, it's not.
If you like to read the retrospect, our budget is in the retrospect. Our budget, adopted budget, will be advertised in the retrospect. You can go to the state of New Jersey, DCA. You can call them up, the director of the DCA, if you do not wish to talk to any of us.
If you say that it's not.
These gentlemen are staking their careers on signing off on our budget, that everything is accurate.
Okay.
There's
Gotcha.
one line below it that says Rich Wright, 1.5.
I hear you. Thank you.
All right, Joanne, thank you. Once again, to talk about code enforcement, we have a code enforcement officer who responds to calls. Joanne, you know about this, many of you know about this. He responds to calls. One of the difficulties when responding to calls is, typically what happens, if anybody knows this, is when the code enforcement officer comes out to cite one individual, the individual usually comes out and says, why are you citing me? Why don't you cite my neighbor and cite my other neighbor? And they point their fingers at everybody. And so it becomes very difficult to just, and the law can't be just specific to one person. The law covers all of us. So if I don't have lids on my trash cans, I will make sure I do. Though I do have it on mine. That's not a trash can.
If I can say one thing with Mr. Knight, he is very black and white.
Yes.
There is no gray area with him. I have a single woman that lives across the street from me. She moved into this house, she got overwhelmed, and she had some problems in the back of her house. Neighbors behind her called, and the poor woman got cited numerous times over things. And she's just in a house that, is tough on her. And, but Mr. Knight has cited her, and, she asked me about it, and I said, I'm sorry, but it's black and white, there's no gray area on it. And, he does his job. Unfortunate, sometimes people don't want to see him. It's like seeing the policeman on the road, but, oh, well, the Runnemede police I like to see, because I'm all friendly with them.
You see the code while you're speaking,
Yeah.
right out there.
And the only other thing I will say is there's nothing wrong with helping our neighbors. You know, if you see your neighbors' cans are out there, I don't think there's anything wrong with helping our neighbors. I'm not telling you to do that, but being neighborly is not a terrible thing. Val, did you want to come up? Yeah. Mr. Labastine just
I have
he
another
has.
appointment, I'm going to leave. Hi, Val. Okay.
No, Val's going on. He just has to go.
I have to leave.
He's leaving, not you, Val.
Thank you, Val.
Just don't take it personally.
Okay. Val Palisano, 831 North Oakland Avenue. With regard to ordinance 17-06, we talked about there'd be no charge for the Triton Wrestling, some of the youth groups.
Yes.
And all. Does that also extend to the Women's Club of Runnemede?
We did not, and I'll tell you what the difference is. The difference is that the youth athletics are somewhat supported by the borough. So their fundraising efforts, typically, as you know, with the kids, is to pay for uniforms and referees and things like that. So obviously, recreation is part of all of our it benefits all the community. The women's club, I don't, like I said, we do treat them slightly different. We treat them as a non-profit. However, the funds that the women's club and some of the other clubs that come in, they use it and they do it what they feel is necessary. So the recreation aspect of it is why we treat them a little bit differently. Remember, they have to be, there's no money that they're doing to give to anybody else, meaning, Mike, if you want to help me out, because the RYA, we wouldn't allow any other, like if a travel team came in, that would not be something we would do. But if it's Triton, this is Triton's wrestling program.
Yes.
So we're going to help the school. We're going to help our athletics, the girls, softball, those kinds of programs. But you know, the travel teams, they would not be, they would be, because those are almost for profit, those type of teams.
Val, it was basically charging ourselves, is what it comes, because we're trying to do more and more with the recreation. So it was like basically charging ourselves. So
Okay.
that's what.
If we charge the school, they would charge us in the 75%.
Yes, and that would be expensive. All right. Also, my neighbor from across the street, North Oakland Avenue, Dolores, after we had those bad rains, now, Keith has been out, but the answer keeps coming back. He has to see it. Well, unfortunately, it rains when God says it's going to rain, and not according to Keith's working schedule. I was in her basement. It's a mess.
Now, she's on the opposite side of you?
The opposite.
So your water problem has been mitigated? You don't have the problem? You're much better, knock on wood. You're fine. So across the street?
Across the street.
Your water went to her.
No, she's further down. She's further down, downstream.
What happens is two of her neighbors from Bowers.
Dump onto her property?
It's not dumb. The
Grade?
drain comes out. Unfortunately, Bowers is much higher
Yes.
than North Oakland, and water is going to run down. The other one, I understand, they get flooded, their driveway.
I did get an email from them, and they asked me what we had done about it. About a year ago, we sent our engineer out, and he did a proposal to relieve that problem by identifying that there were no inlets, stormwater inlets on Bowers. As we all know, there's no inlets on Bowers, there's no inlets on part of Smith Lane, and I think the number came back a few $100,000. And just to let everybody know, I sent that email with your proposal directly to the resident to say, look, we did look into it. The funding is just not there yet because, of course, we prioritize a lot of different things. I mean, we do know that it needs to be resolved. When are we going to get to it? We'll do the best we can. Now, are you saying that?
Well, Harry thought he kind of alleviated when they were out looking at it originally about a year ago. We found
Missing a main?
No, a tree in the.
But that fixed Val's area. That was her problem. Your property was flooding because of the root.
Yeah.
That was a tree that was removed. That's been fixed now.
Yeah,
So
that's
on
been fixed.
what number is your side of the street?
I'm 831.
Yeah, on the odd side of the street, there's no more flooding. This is happening north of her.
So this is still coming from Bowers?
Yeah.
It's coming from Bowers. The difference is that it goes into her inlet and goes away, where it's running down between these two houses.
Oh, it's a river.
Yeah. It's the houses that were built on Bowers. No one took into consideration the stormwater, where the water would go when those two houses were built.
Exactly.
It's short-sighted.
There's nothing else that might be looked at as a temporary or much less expensive?
Basically, I mean, I think the number was about $200,000.
Yeah, I know.
To put a
That's
drain in.
why.
A curbs and a drain. It's tough. It's tough. I mean, it's on the list, and don't get me wrong, we get funding every once in a while. You heard about DOT gave us $200,000, we got $150,000 from the county.
I wonder if anything could be done for her property through something like that.
Well, it is possible. I have seen in other cases where, a trench is dug.
Yeah.
And then the homeowners, now this is all done on the homeowner's property, a trench is dug,
Yes.
perforated pipes, grab the water before it goes into her basement. But that's not something that we would,
No,
that's
but
private
it would
property.
be the county. I have her get.
It's a tougher one.
It's an income thing, you have to be.
You have to qualify also. The income has to be,
She's 85 and
Okay.
she's on Social Security.
she would probably qualify.
She might qualify. Val, why don't you check into that since you're down?
And if we want, we can always get somebody to get contact. If you, Joyce has the contact person. They helped us out great with the lady with the sewer problem.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Seeing no one else, is there a motion to close the public
I so
portion?
move.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Mr. Ranieri. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public portion is closed. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Root, second by Ms. Passio. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.